Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we delve into thought-provoking discussions on the state of the world. Today we're going to tackle a topic that's been garnering significant attention: the decline of America, the culture crisis, and the invasion of our border. Put in the comments down below who the military analyst was who said that our southern border and Mexico would turn into the next Afghanistan within the decade. Looks like it's coming true. Now, in recent years, there's been growing concern about various challenges and trends that some believe are contributing to America's decline, from economic shifts and political polarization to social issues and the global competitiveness, or, as I like to call it, domestic incompetence. There's no shortage of factors impacting the nation's trajectory towards your nearest overflowing, clogged toilet. Now, throughout this series, we explore the multifaceted aspects of America's decline, examining current events. We'll dive into the social fabric of America, exploring divisions and polarizing topics among different groups, examining the state of education, healthcare, global economics, global geopolitical shifts, and more. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join us on this journey. Now, it's not just our southern border that's under attack, but the northern border, something you probably didn't expect. Again, the northern U.S. border encounters with illegals more than double in the last 7 months. Encounters with undocumented illegal migrants have more than doubled, reaching almost 5,000 migrant encounters between October 2022 and April along the U.S.-Canadian border. So if 5,000 have already made it there, and there's hundreds of thousands a month in the summer busy season crossing our southern border, how many more dispersed throughout the entire country? That is $1 million question, or about a 30 million illegal population question. Now, 900 migrants arrived in New York City in one day. The crisis will cost $4 billion, Adams warns. So you guys heard me report the other day that they kicked homeless veterans out of the hotels to make room for illegals. Isn't it lovely? Current state of affairs. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button. Really helps me out. 20 busloads of migrants turn up at New York City's historic Roosevelt Hotel, reopened as asylum seeker arrival center. Wonderful. As if tracking meat consumption and your carbon footprint wasn't bad enough, now they're going to get rid of you and entirely replace you with somebody who's not a citizen. Mayor Eric Adams, nearly half of New York City hotel rooms now filled with migrants. Think about that for a second, how large New York is. Half of New York City hotel rooms filled with migrants. That is incomprehensible. And hopping on to the social crisis, which is related to why I chose Morpheus and the red pill versus the blue pill for the cover. It's going to come time to make a choice. People, I can't tell you what to do, but at some point, enough is enough. State Department promotes transgenderism over gay rights. University of Colorado assume everyone is trans, greet new acquaintances as they, them, theirs.
And finally, new rule: if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z.
20.8%.
We will all be gay in 2054.
Granted, that was for a little comedic relief, but I think the point is very strong. Gen Z, 1 in 5 of them identifies as LGBTQ. Whew. Now remember, if you're going to post a comment, make sure it's at least PG or PG-13. Again, I don't want unnecessary strikes or for you to get censored in the comment section down below. I already have to approve a bunch of comments manually because they're hidden. Now, Texas set to ban trans medical care for minors, which, in my opinion, is a step in the right direction. If you're not old enough to smoke or drink, you should probably not be able to make the decision to mutilate your body permanently. If you want to do it later in life, life by all means, but I think there should be an age restriction. PetSmart pushes the LGBT agenda. Celebrate pride with your pet. Now, I could make all kinds of inappropriate jokes involving pets here, but I'm going to refrain from doing so. Again, I share this one because PetSmart has decided to join the ranks of Bud Light, Dove, and Target. And speaking of Target, Target's tuck-friendly swimwear for kids sparks outcry. Bud Light 2.0. Retail giant Target rolled out an LGBT pride collection that includes so-called tuck-friendly, where rainbow-colored onesies for infants and children, stoking conservative outrage that echoes the Bud Light fiasco. So let me know in the comments if you guys are still going to shop at Target. This is now the second time they've come up in a video for me in the last 3 days. And again, go woke, go broke. Disney fails. Star Wars $4,800 a night galactic star cruiser attraction in Florida is shutting down. I don't know who was able to afford that anyway, or how popular that could possibly have been, but good riddance. Disney partners with Pride-based company to generate LGBTQ activist content to create systematic and meaningful change. You know what else is funny about systematic and meaningful change? A potential employer of mine was laughing. They're a company in the medical sector. Right in their hiring policy says that they have been mandated to hire 7% of their workforce has to be disabled. So I find that to be very interesting. If you go in for a leg surgery, well, there's a good chance your doctor was hired just because he is also missing a leg. Oh, what a world we live in. Moving on, Washington residents won't be notified of sexual offenders being moved from Pedo Island into their neighborhoods. So in case you guys are in Washington or the Chop Chaz Seattle zone, well, now it's getting worse. There could be pedophiles and sex offenders getting moved in next to you, as well as illegals. So now you've got it from all angles. Biggest advice, leave the cities before it's too late. Joe Biden leaves Kamala Harris in charge of debt ceiling negotiations, which if you've watched flip-flop and implode back and forth between McCarthy and Biden's team, now I'm starting to think there actually is a chance we might default. That'll be interesting, eh? What better way to usher in the new age of central banking digital currency than to just collapse the economy and let stocks take a 45% dive. Biden himself said it the other day, if we default, stocks will fall by 45%. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he expected negotiations to avert a U.S. debt default will restart Friday night. So we'll take a gander and see if those have been updated, because I checked just this morning, and now things are looking even more unsure than where we left off on Friday. And bank stocks puked on Friday as Yellen reportedly warned of more mergers ahead. Banks are in serious trouble. I believe up to 30-something% of them are insolvent. And if you guys have seen, let me know locally if you've seen any of the signs that say you can't withdraw more than $2,000. I've also heard reports that a lot of ATMs are closed except for being able to purchase crypto with them. A lot of weird stuff going on in the finance sector. Now, Breitbart Business Digest, inflation is here for the long run. Of U.S. adults experiencing financial hardship because of inflation has now reached 61% of them. The year-over-year increase in the Consumer Price Index peaked at 9.1%, but let's be honest, real inflation, especially with groceries, is about 47%. I don't know about you, but my grocery bill has more than doubled. Ongoing inflation often reduces real incomes, further exacerbating the problem, which, of course, increased risk of war, outright international conflicts are also inflationary. Why we're pushing it to fight both the Russians and the Chinese is... Your guess is as good as anyone's at this point. So is this trend away from growth policies and towards those fostering diversity, inclusion, and equity a good thing or a bad thing? Either way, we're going to get higher inflation or higher interest rates for longer. It's going to be one of the two, neither of them good. And the last article before we head out of here, speaking of groceries, Bidenflation forces shoppers to buy groceries at Walmart, and I can also confirm longer lines there. And I myself buying more groceries there despite me not liking them. A lot of their things are cheaper. So shop around, see what you can get, and I will catch you guys in the next one.